What's up, everyone? Welcome back to another episode of JK Sports. It's your guy, Kevin Humphreys. Joining me as he does every episode, it's Jack Feldman. Jack, what's up, man?
What is up, dude? It's been a minute, so
It
it's
it
good to be
has.
back on the mic.
Oh man, dude, I've unfortunately been a little sick, battling some headaches and dental procedures, so haven't been able to go the past few days, but excited to talk some hoops today, man. The NBA has been nothing but exciting and awesome so far this season. Can't wait to get into that. College hoops, there's been some eye-opening games close to home for us here in Provo and just across the country as well. And I can't wait to get into all of it, Jack. And we'll get right to it with our take tracker segment. So this, if you haven't listened before, it's basically Jack and I have had takes throughout this podcast, and we're trying to hold ourselves accountable, both good and bad. And so right now we're gonna kind of celebrate our takes, or kind of check in on our takes and see where they're at. And Jack, what take is going well for you right now?
It wasn't going well at the beginning of the season, but I think it's finally clicking for them, and that's the Magic. They are 6-6 right now, but they've been looking good. They've been playing really good basketball these last 3 or 4 games. I mean,
Yep,
they're 3-1 in their last four,
yep.
which is good. I
Dominated
think
the
they're
Knicks tonight.
Yep, and they're finally. I feel like they're figuring out how to use Bane in the best way
Hmm.
possible, and so I think this team's gonna start clicking now. And so I'm not super right about that yet because they are 6-6, but I've liked what I've seen from that big three down in Orlando.
Yeah, watching them. And today it seemed like everything just clicked on defense, and that was one thing that surprisingly they struggled with early in the season, is they were not playing very good defense. But today against the Knicks, they were everywhere. I mean, they were all causing havoc, especially Jalen Suggs. It'd be nice if he could hit an open three every once in a while. They could have won by even more tonight if he just knocks down any of his threes that he had in that second quarter when they were really going on their run. But yeah, the Magic, like, it's tough to bring in a new superstar, and they brought in a bunch of new guys like Tyus Jones as well over the offseason. It's tough for a team to figure itself out, and the Magic are doing that at a slower pace than maybe you would have liked to see early in the season. But at some point, I think I agree with you. They're going to hit their stride, and we're going to, assuming they're healthy throughout the season, they're going to be right in it at the end of the season, I believe.
No, I definitely agree with that. And my other team out in the East, I said to keep an eye out on Detroit, and Detroit's ten and
Dude,
two, and they're
okay,
looking really, really good.
okay, first, Kate is awesome. Second, 14 of 45 and a triple double.
Cade's gonna have some of the most random games this year, and that was
Yeah,
definitely one of them. Set a
my
franchise record
goodness.
on shots taken. I don't know how you shoot 14 of 45, honestly. And I don't know how you score like 46 or whatever points off 14
Yeah.
of 45. So, um, but yeah, the Pistons look great. I don't think they had a starter play today, and they still came out on top against the Bulls.
Yeah.
Their starting five was a bunch of no names, but I mean, Paul Reed and Duncan Robinson led the team in scoring. They combined it for 51 or something today. So, I
Dude,
mean,
the Pistons they're
yeah,
fun, man. They're so fun.
they're a lot of fun. So,
They're so
I'm
fun.
very glad that's coming to fruition for me because I think this Pistons team is going to be a lot of fun to watch.
Yeah, I agree. So I will get into my kind of take tracker, and it's the Western Conference, Jack. In our NBA preview, I said the Western Conference is not as difficult or as scary as everyone thinks it is. Coming into the season, we were like, man, there's like 10 teams that are going to be really awesome. Well, guess what? As a Suns fan, I've watched them play the Clippers three times, and they are pathetic. I mean, you want to look at a team that looks like the Suns did last season, the Kevin Durant, Bradley Beal Suns. That is the team because they're old, Jack. They don't like playing defense. They don't like getting up and down the floor. You pressure them at all. You get a lead on them at all. They're not fighting back. Like, Harden's still good, but like the team is just too old to compete. Their win total coming into the season was 47.5. And I love Zubac. Harden's still good, but like, I mean, Chris Dunn is playing like 36 minutes a game for them and is being relied on to like run their offense at times. Like, Clippers haven't been that good this season. That one was kind of easy to see coming, just looking at the ages of everyone. But like, you look at the names on the roster and you're like, man, if this team gets it right, they're a championship contender. And I'm telling you, Jack, like, not I'm writing this team off for the whole season, but I think they're more likely to miss the playoffs right now than make the playoffs, in my personal opinion. A couple other teams that have just been a disaster. Dallas was a team that a lot of people were super high on. Guess what? Cooper Flag. If you can't shoot in the NBA, like, it's a lot harder. It's a lot harder to play in the NBA when you're not a lethal shooter. And it's taken him some time to acclimate. He played the Suns, looked good tonight against Milwaukee. He looked great down the stretch as well. But Anthony Davis got hurt. They fired Nico Harrison because things have been going so bad early on. Even you look at teams like Minnesota, they don't have a point guard now. There's just a glaring hole in their roster that's going to plague them all season long. Like, we're only, 10, 15 games into the season, and this Western Conference is a lot more wide open for certain teams that were counted out by a lot of people at the beginning of the season.
No, that's a really good point. And I feel like, I mean, you look at the bottom of this conference, the Clippers, Mavericks, even Pelicans.
Oh, the Pelicans are horrible.
They don't look like good teams, and they
They're
don't look
not.
like a team
They're
because
not.
I think it all ends up, but I think at the end of the day, it all comes back to like injuries. And
Yeah.
but at the same time, you can't blame the injuries because the three guys on those teams that are supposed to lead the team are guys that are stamped injury prone.
Yeah. It's not like it's not like you couldn't have seen this coming, right? Like, oh my goodness, Anthony Davis is gonna miss a month. Kawhi Leonard's gonna randomly just be out for 3 weeks with a little ankle injury. Zion Williamson, I don't even know what he's injured with, man. And then Jordan Poole comes over, and as he's played a couple games, DeJounte Murray's trying to come back from his Achilles injury last season. Like, and people were buying stock in this Clippers team just because, again, Jack, like, people were looking at all the names on the roster and just like and just saying like, oh, it's all gonna come together. And guess what? D'Angelo Russell plays like no minutes for the Mavericks, and he was their big free agent signing at point guard, and he barely plays. He barely plays. And one other thing I'll say about the Mavericks that's completely off topic, but they have the worst rims in the NBA. 100%. Like, there's a reason why they're a good defensive team, and it's just because in that building, those rims are the worst. I mean, I can't even tell you how many shots I saw tonight and the last couple nights where like the ball is in the basket and that rim just somehow finds a way to pop it out. Like, it it is incredible. Plus the mics on the rim are just awful as well. The noise the rim makes every time it gets hit is awful. Like, I don't know if Dallas hasn't changed rims in 20 years, but it is pretty disastrous. Watching a game because one, Dallas's offense sucks, but two, like, it's just impossible to shoot in that gym because those rims are so bad.
Right. And I think that's what I mean, and that's what you miss out of Anthony Davis too, is that guy that can roll it off the rim 2 feet away. I mean, maybe that is what their game plan was going into this season, but again, Anthony Davis is out. And
Yep.
me and my friends, we have a running joke for the last like 5 years with the Pelicans. And it's like
Mm.
if Zion Williamson stays healthy, if
Yeah.
DeJounte Murray is healthy, if this Pelicans team can stay healthy, they're a
Yeah.
top four team in the West. And so
Right.
that's just like my running joke, especially with the Pelicans, especially
Yeah.
with Zion Williamson. And I mean, you see it in the bottom half of this whole Western Conference. I mean, the Grizzlies with John Morant,
True, that's another
Clippers,
team.
right? Clippers, the Kings. They just traded away Fox or whatever. I mean,
Yeah.
these bottom five teams, it's like if they were healthy, if they could stay
Right.
healthy.
It's not like they don't have talent.
Exactly.
Like they for sure have talent. It's just like talent isn't the sauce. It's playing and playing hard. Like that's the key to winning basketball games in the NBA is just have your guys play every day, and then two, when the guys do play, they have to play hard. And in the Clippers case, like they have guys, but like they just don't play hard. Harden gets diced up defensively just every single possession. Clippers are on top of mind because they played the Suns 2 games in a row, and I hate watching the Clippers. Also, Brook Lopez, I see you, buddy. Your like 15-foot fall away bank shots are a thing of beauty. I hope the Clippers are sellers at the deadline and you can end up on a contending team because I love watching you, man. But yeah, overall, just to kind of wrap up, like, and this will get us into our next topic is the West is wide open for a lot of teams. And Jack, my early bird takes the worm take is I think the Phoenix Suns, barring a really bad injury to Mark Williams or Devin Booker, will be a playoff team. Whether they're the 10 seed in the play-in and they win their way into the playoffs, or they just make the playoffs as an 8 seed. I think they're going to make the playoffs. I know it's kind of a bold take and one that I'm scared to make right now, honestly. But I don't know if you've paid attention, but Grayson Allen and Royce O'Neal are the league leading duo in 3-pointers made this season, Jack. And it's not like it's been a stroke of luck. Royce O'Neal averages like the most open 3-pointers taken in the NBA. So it's not that he's just getting lucky and hitting these crazy contested threes all the time. This Suns team is one of the best coached teams I've ever seen in my entire life. They've bought into Jordan Ott's system. They've finally accepted shooting threes as like a feasible offensive strategy, which is something that they just haven't done the last 4 or 5 years. They were the kings of the mid range, but now we take more threes than anyone. And honestly, it's incredible. Grayson Allen is Jack. I'm not saying he's going to be an all-star this year because he's not, but like Grayson Allen, I don't know if you've been following what he's been doing right now. He's a top 50 player in the NBA right now. He's a 45% three-point shooter. He's really good getting to the basket because the dude is strong and physical, and it doesn't matter who you are. He's knocking you out of the way and getting to the basket. Like, he's been unbelievable for the Suns. He probably won't be a top 50 player in basketball to end the season, but like even without Jalen Green, he's going to be out for, the next 2 months probably. I still think this Suns team, if Mark Williams is their center, is a playoff team.
That is a lot to unfold. I do not think that Grayson Allen is a top 50 guy even right now.
I'm just
I
saying
just,
he's like one of the best 5 shooters on the planet.
but something special happens when the guys on your team stick to the role that they're supposed to play. And
Yeah.
that's what the Suns are seeing right now. You got Devin Booker, that's the guy. He's the
Yep.
scorer. He's the one that you get the ball to when he needs a bucket. You got
Yes.
a rim running big in Mark Williams. And then you fill with defense and shooters. So you got
Yep.
Royce O'Neal, who's been doing that his whole career. Go back to Utah. He was hitting threes. He was playing defense. Same thing with Grayson Allen his whole career. He was hitting threes, doing it at a higher level now with the Suns, probably
Mm-hmm.
because he hasn't played with a scorer like Devin Booker that draws so much attention. And then you add Jalen Green, you add Dylan Brooks when he's healthy. I
Yep.
mean, this team is set up for that success because you have the score, you have the rim running big, and then you got the shooters and defense surrounding that team.
Yes.
So I don't think that's the worst early bird take. I don't think they make it out of the play in tournament. I think they will end up losing to whoever's there. I don't like them. I don't like the matchup with the Warriors. But honestly, I don't know if the thing is like who else is gonna beat them? Because I think they beat the Trailblazers in the play-in. I think they beat the Jazz.
Mm-hmm.
They beat the Clippers. They beat the Grizzlies. They beat the Kings.
Mm-hmm.
The
Mm-hmm.
Mavericks, if
Mm-hmm.
healthy, I don't
Mm-hmm.
know. And so
Mm-hmm.
I think they do end up getting that
I
eighth
think
seed.
Kyrie's out for the season now.
Right. Yeah. And so I think just due to the fact that there's only 7 teams better than them in the West, sure they can make it into
Mm-hmm.
the 8 seed, but then they go get swept by the Thunder.
Yeah. Yeah. And like a big thing is if Jalen Green's gonna pull his hamstring again and he just never plays this season, yeah, they're screwed. But and same thing with Mark Williams. Like Mark Williams probably has to play like 70 games for them because the backup bigs are like Nick Richards and also like they're just not rotation level backup centers in the NBA. Everyone on everyone on Suns Twitter is like dying to see Kaman Malawatch get the backup center rotation minutes, which hopefully he gets at some point this season. I don't know if that's a good thing or not. Maybe not for winning, but I'd sure love to see it. But yeah, that's my early bird takes the worm, Jack. Probably in like 2 weeks I'll probably be looking like an idiot for that. But the way that Grayson Allen's playing, he and Royce just have the freedom to like they're both taking 12 threes a game. It feels like it kind of depends. On average combined, they're probably taking about 20 threes a game between the two of them, and they're both shooting at a 45% clip this season. And it's just because they're so in rhythm because they have the freedom to take all these shots. And that's what I love watching about them. And they're just an incredibly well coached team. Um, and it shouldn't have looked this good this early for them, even though they've beaten teams like the Pelicans and whatnot. But Jack, take me to your early bird takes the worm take.
So, all right. This one it's looking good right now, and so I don't know if it's that ball knowledgeable, but I think the Thunder are going to break the most wins in a season record held by the Warriors at 73
So
and
they're going
9.
74.
I think they're going to win 74 plus games this year because they have
Okay.
looked outstanding. And like I know there's a lot of Thunder
Without
haters
J
out in
Will
the world,
one.
and that was my biggest case is we're missing a guy. They are missing a guy.
We. We.
We
Whoa.
we we I am a Thunder
Wow.
fan.
Oh wow.
I've been a Thunder fan since Katie,
I know, I know, I
Russ
know,
and
I know.
Harden back in high school. Anyway, yes, so the Thunder are going to win 74 games this year. And that's my biggest takeaway. They're 12-1
Right.
without their second player in Jay Will. And so you got $50 million sitting on the bench right now, and you're sitting at 12-1, dominating a lot of contenders. The Lakers above
Mm-hmm.
500, Warriors above 500. They've just looked really good every single time they come
Yeah.
out. And so that is my early bird take. I think they're going to end up winning 74 plus games this year.
What's crazy about the Thunder to me is I feel like if you just had Shea, but then you took away Chet, you took away J Will one, you took away Dort, and you took away Hartenstein, like you took away the other starting four, from their lineup. I still think the Thunder are probably a top 6 seed in the West just because of how deep they are. Like they just keep finding guys and it's like, "Oh, of course, like you're just a really good NBA player and the Thunder have you. You're probably like you play spot minutes when Lou Dort's out, right? But like when you play, like I don't think Dort and Jay Will didn't play against the Lakers tonight and the Thunder still ran right over Luka Doncic and Austin Reeves. So it was like a basically fully healthy Lakers team outside of LeBron and like just completely rolled over them. Like it was not close from the start, right? And it was like the Thunder at like a B level roster of what they could be, maybe like B minus, C plus even. Like they're just so deep and talented and young and everyone's bought in on playing that style of basketball, which is just super fun. And honestly, I agree with you. One, because, like I said before, the West just isn't as good as we thought. So I think the Thunder are going to run it. Outside of Denver, like, I think those are the two teams that are, like, just clear cut 1 and 2. Everyone else can fight for 3 through 8, but, like, those are the two best teams. That's the NBA Finals this year when those two teams meet in the playoffs. It kind of sucks to say that right now because the NBA is super fun, but like I don't know if you agree. I feel like the Thunder is so good this season and Denver's looks pretty good this season that right now that's just kind of where I'm at.
I definitely agree with that. I feel like it's just the Thunder, and then it's the Thunder one. It's the Nuggets at a 1B, maybe C,
Yeah.
and then
Yeah.
it's everybody else. Um,
Mm-hmm.
and to go on with that point with the Thunder, I mean, Jay Will's been out the whole season. Lou Dort's been out for a few games. Aaron Wiggins has been out for a few games, and then they say, "Oh,
Yes.
AJ Mitchell, come on in and drop 20 a game for us."
Dude, AJ Mitchell, he would start on so many other teams or get like 25 minutes a game on so many other teams. And he just like came in this season and was like, "Oh, hello, like I'm just this new like fun toy to that we can play with as Thunder fans." And it's like if you were on you would make so many other teams contenders and you're just like this like, "Oh, we don't need you, but we have you" type piece for the Thunder. It's insane.
Yeah, and I think it all goes back to the front office of the Thunder.
Yep.
And some people know where to draft, other people don't. And Sam Presti knows exactly who to take, where he's taking them. AJ
Yep.
Mitchell went 38th in his draft, and now he's averaging 20 for a contending favorite. And
Yeah.
so that's what it comes down to. I mean, teams could draft in the top 5 every year and still be awful. And then you got
Mhm.
teams like the Thunder who take guys that can score 20 points a game any night in the second round. And so that's my biggest takeaway from the Thunder.
Yeah. Speaking of GMs, Jack, we had some early NBA firings this season. The complete opposite of Sam Presti. Nico Harrison got fired, perhaps finally, because I think everyone knew the moment everyone saw the Shams tweet about Doncic heading to the Lakers. I think we all kind of knew that he was getting fired. It wasn't a matter of if, it was a matter of when, but he gets fired. And just to run through his blunders real quick, let Jalen Brunson walk in free agency, traded Luka Doncic for Anthony Davis and 1 first-round pick. Now, nothing against
Sam
Davis, but
Presti.
like just one of the dumbest trades in the history of the NBA. Got absolutely swindled. He traded Quentin Grimes for a Martin twin. Why?
It
Like
doesn't make sense. It really doesn't make
the not
sense.
like and and it worked out for him and they made an NBA finals, but he traded for Kyrie when Kyrie was his most toxic and like just just on his worst behavior, Kyrie Irving. And he traded like 2 or 3 first round picks for him. And like guess what? Like the Kyrie thing worked out for him outside of the injury, but like they have no control of their draft after this season until like 2031, 2032. And coming from an organization who everyone said had the bleakest future in the NBA, Jack, the Mavericks had one of the brightest futures of the NBA. Right, and this was before they drafted Cooper Flag. Like their future, they should have been contending for championships for 10 years in a row. And now they have to completely scrap everything and rebuild. And I don't know about you, but I guess this is all a big setup too. If you're the new GM for Dallas, are you just getting rid of all the old guys and saying we're building around Cooper Flag and Derek Lively for the foreseeable future? Or are you still trying to chase a championship with the Anthony Davises and Kyrie Irvings?
That is a very, very tricky question because, I mean, you could go both ways, but at the same time, it's hard to chase a championship and keep your two superstars healthy for 82 games plus a full season, plus a full playoff, especially those two superstars. And
Yes.
so on paper, I really didn't think this trade was as bad as everyone was thinking it was because Anthony Davis, when healthy, is a top 10 player in the league, in my opinion. He is.
He's just what has he ever done as a one? Like I know he's the best number 2 and he's like a great center and he's really good defensively, but like
Well, and
Anthony,
that's
like Anthony Davis has never made it out of the second round. He's made it to the second round of the playoffs once as the best player on his team. I guess is the pushback. So when everyone says, "Oh, he's like he is an incredible player, but like if you're a top 10 player in the NBA, I would have liked to have seen you make, the second round or the Western Conference Finals as the best player on your team."
I
You
do
know,
I do agree with that. I mean, his time in New Orleans, being the number one option was telling. I mean, the stats were there, but also he
yeah,
needed to win playoff series. But that's
yeah,
what it comes down to, in my opinion, is like guys like him, they are a top 10 talent, but they also need a top 20 guy on their team to give them the ball to let them operate, aka LeBron James,
to
Kyrie.
take away
Right.
the hard part of basketball.
Yes. And so, but I feel like that's a lot of 4 and 5s. There's a lot of
Yeah,
4 and 5s that are top 20 in the NBA, but they can't lead a team minus Jokic. And so that's what it comes down to, especially in the NBA now, is like
yeah,
I don't see a big guy being a number one option for a title to contending team unless your name is Nikola Jokic, which he does
yeah,
everything.
yeah.
But other than him, I mean, you can't give me another big man name that would compete for a championship as the number one option.
I mean, a healthy Embiid. I think talent wise, Embiid can, but
That's
it's the health. It's the health. I think talent wise, I don't think Dave like. I guess that's the thing, is this team with like Flag, Davis, and Lively all like playing together. It just doesn't feel like it makes that much sense to me.
it
Like
doesn't.
there's no spacing. And
Mm-mm.
I know the Rockets are doing their thing where they're saying F the spacing, we're just gonna get 40% of our misses. Like their offensive rebound rate is honestly unfathomable what the Rockets are doing. And that's probably how the Mavericks would play. And then it's just like, okay, Kyrie, um, go score 30 and make all these insane shots, which is like, okay, yeah, you probably have the best defense in the NBA, but your offense would be so bad that I just don't know if it would work in the playoffs. And like, I guess I can kind of see the vision, but in my opinion, like your future is pretty much dead. Like you have no more first round picks coming after this season, so I think if you want to build around Cooper and you want to be a contender in 5 years, like, and if you want to be a contender with Cooper as your best player, I think you probably have to look at getting rid of AD and trading Kyrie. I mean, trading Kyrie's tough, obviously, because of the injury, but like over the offseason, you probably have to try and trade him for whoever you can get and just kind of hit the reset button, which sucks, but like I don't see them being a top team in the West even fully healthy, given what we've seen from Flag and the supporting cast around on this Mavericks team so far this season.
Right. And I think that's the point that I was trying to get to almost with the AD take is like I feel like the Mavs almost have their hands are forced at this point to keep this team
Yeah,
because you traded Luca for this guy and to go and trade him.
yeah,
There's a lot of teams that probably wouldn't give up a lot to get AD at this point. And the same with Kyrie. And so at
no,
that point, we're like,
the
well,
injuries,
we might as
man.
well have to. Yeah, exactly. And so at this point, you're just like, well, we got to keep him because we're not going to trade him for 3 first rounds and a rising star because it's just not what AD or Kyrie is worth at this point. But at the same time, it's like, are they worth that? Because we do need to hit the reset button with Cooper Flag. And so that's kind of the limbo that the Mavs are in. And that's what sucks about the new GM coming in is like, sorry, you don't really have much to work with, though.
Yeah, no, it's a lose-lose situation because you sell those guys, then everyone in Dallas knows you're gonna suck for a couple seasons building around Flag. Unless you get lucky in the draft this year and get the heaven forbid get the number one pick again, because I would personally hate that, and I know there's Jazz fans would obviously hate that because I think they're just gonna tank until they get the number one pick, and it's just this Mexican standoff between the NBA and the Jazz, saying the NBA's like, we will never give you the number one pick, and the Jazz are like, we're just gonna keep tanking until we get the number one pick, and whoever they're both just freezing each other out, and that's a sad situation. Jack, I think we hit most of the teams that we planned on talking about. We want to talk about the Pistons, the Magic, the Thunder, Dallas, Phoenix. Any thoughts on the Clippers or Minnesota situations before we move on to some college hoops?
I thought Minnesota would be playing better than they have been. Ant was hurt for a little bit.
Yeah,
The Timberwolves team that played the Jazz in the group stage match last
yes,
Friday, that was the Timberwolves team that I was expecting to see most of this season. But that's
yeah,
just not the team that we're gonna see more often than not. I mean, Julius Randle's not gonna be getting triple doubles left and right. Ant could be scoring 40 a game, but um at the end of the day, I think this whole team revolves around DiVincenzo because he's going to be their guard now, and it's going to be
yeah,
Julius Randle if he wants to play winning basketball. And so it really comes
yep,
down to those two, in my opinion. If those two are going to complement each other and the whole team as a whole, this team could be a top 4 or 5 team in the West.
easily.
Makes noise as always, as they always do. Maybe Ant will add another superstar to his playoff ending runs that he is so famous for having. But I haven't been
Yeah.
super impressed with this Timberwolves team as of yet.
Yeah, I think I don't know. When when I watch this team, and granted I've only watched like a couple halves from them this season, it there's just something that just feels off with this team. I don't know if it's like it's just a pure vibes thing watching them, where it's like it just like if they had Mike Conley 5 years ago, this team I think could be a title contender, and like I think they'll probably win close to 50 games this season. They're going to be a good regular season team, but I just and maybe it's just because I'm comparing them to the Thunder and the Nuggets, and like if I guess if that's the bar that I'm holding a team that's made it to the Western
Pretty
Conference
high.
Finals too the last 2 years too, this team does not come close to that in my opinion. So I guess maybe that's an unfair expectations I'm holding them to. Ant's awesome, but like outside of Ant, like no one on this, like I don't get excited about Randall. He's good, he's solid, but tends to his stats are sometimes a little empty. You know, at some point Gobert's gonna take a full step back. I feel like he's been declining slowly. At some point, you know, that's gonna be hard. Conley has clearly taken multiple steps back. We saw that in the later playoff series. But they just don't have a point guard on the roster. And I don't trust DiVincenzo to be the guy who is able to make everyone happy. And Randall and Ant, both big egos, both think that they should be scoring, 25 points a game. Like I just it's going to be interesting to see how it all plays out in Minnesota because they're going to be solid, but when they get bounced from the playoffs again, I think we're going to start to, you know, once guys get deep enough into their career, it's when things start to turn on guys like Ant, where it's like, okay, like we love you for all the things you do well, but everyone's going to start pointing at all the things that he doesn't do, which happens to every superstar player. Like it's nothing new to Amp, but I kind of see that as kind of the storyline going into the season. But it's early; they could win 20 games in a row, and we're like, oh my gosh, it's a big three in the West too. Any other NBA stuff before we get to college hoops?
I don't think so. I think we covered everything that I wanted to talk about.
Yeah. Let's see. The first and like biggest takeaway that I have, college hoops, Jack, offense. Like I don't know if you subscribe to or read Ken Pomeroy's Substack. I do. It's great. Offenses are exploding. Like just in the first few weeks, it's been the highest scoring season ever in college basketball. Offensive efficiency is at an all-time high across the sport. It's what we've wanted to see as college basketball fans for a long time, is for the officiating in the game to kind of catch up to how it's supposed to be played. A lot more free flowing, probably taking out a little bit of physicality from the game, kind of um, allowing the offenses to thrive. And we've really seen that so far this year. A game in particular that was just super fun to watch. You were probably watching NFL football on Sunday, and I was watching St. John's, Alabama. Maybe that was Saturday. I can't remember. But it was one of the most fun games I've watched this season. It was electric. Alabama wins 90 something to 80 something. It was exactly what college basketball is at its best. And up and down, free flowing, just super competitive, bodies hitting the floor, like everything you could ever want in a college basketball game. That was it. And Jack, like, I'm super excited for this season because I think there's a lot of college basketball teams that are awesome, and there's a ton of college basketball teams with incredible freshmen that are going to make huge impacts in the NBA the next couple of seasons.
Yeah, I agree and disagree. I mean, I love the fact that college basketball used to be like you play 3 seasons because you only got a handful of one and dones back in
Yeah.
the day, even just a few years ago.
Yep.
And that's what I really liked about college basketball is the fact that they were a team. They played 2, 3 years together, and
Yeah.
um, that's how they gel, and that's how they become good basketball teams.
Mm-hmm.
And so one part of me is like, holy cow, this is so much fun because you get to see a lot higher quality of players. You get to see the ball going into the rim more often than we used to see. And so
Yeah.
that part of me, I'm like, oh, this is a lot of fun. But then I also look at a few possessions every game, and it's just one on one. I'm just like, this isn't basketball. Like,
Yeah.
where's the ball movement? Where's the San Antonio Spurs offense?
Yep.
Where's the team aspect to this?
Yeah.
And so that's where my mind's conflicted of like, is the one and done really good for college basketball?
Hmm.
I don't know, but it's a lot of fun to watch.
Dude, I mean, when it's the freshmen are bad and they're doing the one and done like hero ball stuff, that's when it sucks. But like this season, I mean, we already knew about AJ and Darian Peterson. You know, Koa Pete has put his name in. The Boozer twins have both been playing good. We've seen guys like, oh, I don't know, like there's this guy on Arizona State, Jop. He's like 7'1" and just incredible, like stretching the floor, hitting threes. Like, there's just so many good freshmen
Mikael
across the
Bronson,
country. Yes, yes.
so
Caleb
good.
Wilson, like
Yep.
there's so many guys this year. Like that's what's awesome to me about this season too is I think it's as talented of a college basketball season as as we've had in a long time. And the great part is Duke's super talented, but the talent is spread out all across the country. Like you look at a team like Michigan, they have Mara from UCLA last season. They have the big guy who transferred. I can never say his name right, so I'm not going to. But like they have an NBA front line at Michigan, and then you head south to the SEC. Like you look at a Kentucky, maybe not as much NBA talent. You look at Alabama, Florida has been kind of up and down so far from like returning a national championship team. You head over to the ACC, like you have Duke, UNC's looked pretty good so far this season. You head over, you head over to the West Coast. You got AJ DeBansa. You have Koa Pete at Arizona. I'm trying to think. You
Influx is
have
looking great.
yeah, you have JT Toppin at Gonzaga. Just there's just so many teams. Oh, Louisville is awesome again. That's freaking awesome. I love it when both Louisville and Kentucky are good. Like that's something I feel like has been missing from the sport is like Kentucky and Louisville when they're, both like Elite Eight quality teams like they are this year, like the sport is just so much better. But yeah, like, is there a team that stood out to you watching them so far this season, good or bad?
I don't feel like there's a team that really stood out to me. I think I just want to echo what you were saying. I mean, I feel like there's 20 plus teams that can make the Elite Eight this year. And that's what makes this college
Yes.
basketball season way more fun than past.
Yes.
Because, like, even last year, like, it was chalk. It was all one seeds in the Final
Yep.
Four. This year, there's 10 plus teams that can make the Final Four. And so that's what I like to see, and especially in college basketball where there's 68 teams in the field. I mean, just the randomness to college basketball. I think that's what we're going to get this year, which is more than anyone can ever ask for.
Yeah. A couple things before we wrap up. Michigan, really talented, but really stupid. Like, you just watch them play. They're so sloppy. It's so annoying. Louisville, awesome. So good. So, so good. Gonzaga finally beat Oklahoma. Like the last 3 seasons, Oklahoma started undefeated through non conference play because they play nobodies. Thank you, Gonzaga, for for ending Oklahoma's season before it actually started because Oklahoma is always ranked like top 10 in January. And we're like, the best team you've played is like a Ken Palm 200 team. So thank you, Gonzaga, for ending that for us. Texas Tech outside of JT Toppin, I'm very concerned. I was really high on them. I really loved who's their guard. I just watched the game all day today. Christian Christian Anderson. I loved him last year, but he just hasn't been as good as I thought he was. He hasn't taken the leap I was hoping he was going to take this season. And because of that, I'm very concerned about Texas Tech. Those are my college basketball notes. Jack, why don't you end the podcast with your takeaways from BYU's first 3 games this season?
My biggest takeaway for BYU is I am scared mostly because who's scoring outside the top three. I mean, against Delaware, the Richie, Rob Wright, and AJ DeBonso scored 70 of the 85. That's not winning basketball,
Mm-hmm.
especially for a team like BYU. And so that's what my biggest concern is for BYU. It's where the point's going to come from when those three can't get to the hoop against Big 12 opponents. Because in years past, BYU has been a drive and kick type team. There's no one to kick to this year. No one can
Yeah.
hit threes on this team.
The shooting
So,
is the biggest question mark on this team.
yes. And
They're
so
going to win a
that's
lot of defensive games this year. It's not
right.
going to be pretty.
I think people are very excited when you hear names like AJ DeBonsa, but one guy isn't going to win you games. You need to build a team around that specific guy, build to his
Yeah.
strengths. And I truly don't know if BYU did the best in that aspect. At least that's what I've seen these first 3 games. It showed against a team like Delaware, where they
Yeah.
were trailing for the majority of the game. But then they caught fire. Richie became Richie. Rob Wright had a career high night, and AJ DeBonsa did what AJ DeBonsa does. But AJ DeBonsa, Richie Saunders, and Rob Wright isn't going to have that kind of effect against UConn this Saturday. And so
Houston.
that is what I'm most excited about. I want to see what this team looks like against a top 4 team in the nation. And
It's gonna be a cinema. I'm not sure if it's gonna be a good. It might be a train wreck, but it's gonna be cinematic.
it's cinema regardless. So I that's my biggest thing. I can't speak too high or low about this BYU team yet, just due to the fact they haven't really played anybody. They looked fine against Villanova. They looked great against the other random team they played, and then they looked awful against Delaware. So,
Yeah.
what team's gonna show up against UConn in Boston? That's what I'm excited for, and I think that's gonna be the trajectory of this game, of this whole season, is depending on this game. If BYU keeps it to a 10-point game, keeps it respectable, I think there's a lot of up and ups for BYU this year
Absolutely.
because I trust Kevin Young and the adjustments he makes throughout the season. But if we get the doors blown off us, lose by 25, that is very, very concerning to me.
Yeah. So just to recap, we have the Oklahoma City Thunder setting an NBA record in wins, regular season wins this season. The Phoenix Suns are making the playoffs. The Thunder are going to repeat. It's Denver and OKC in the West. College basketball, points, points, points. The freshmen are amazing. Any top 20 matchup you turn on this weekend is going to be incredible. And with that being said, that's this episode of JK Sports. Thanks for watching. Please like and subscribe, comment, follow us on TikTok, Instagram, Twitter, YouTube, Spotify, Apple Podcasts. That's where we're at. Thank you guys for watching or listening, and we will see you next time.